Hi guys, Jordan here, and firstly, welcome to the channel. So today's video is going to be all about arm training and how to get the most out of training your biceps and triceps. So you've got your bicep and your tricep when it comes to arm training. So I want to run through a few tips on how to get the most out of training your arms that will hopefully help some of you guys out. So tip number one would be to switch it up a little bit when it comes to sort of training your biceps or your triceps. So change the angle of the exercise. So instead of just doing standing bicep curls, maybe go on an incline on a bench or lean over and do your curls leaning over. Same with triceps, switch the angle up so you're targeting sort of different parts of your bicep or tricep. So that would be tip number one. Tip number two would be to focus on getting your form perfect. Don't focus too much on weight. So you don't want to be sort of using any momentum or swinging as you're doing curls. You want nice and strict curls, squeeze at the top, slowly back down. Same with your triceps. You want to make sure that you're getting a nice contraction, squeeze on the triceps. At the end of the day, that's what you're trying to sort of achieve. It's not just about weight. You want to try and make sure that the reps are right. So you're focusing on your form. That would be tip number two. Tip number three would be to, again, change up the grip that you're doing when it comes to sort of any of the bicep or tricep sort of exercises. For example, bicep curls, instead of just doing them like this sort of grip every single time, maybe switch it up and do hammer curls. Or maybe to get a little bit more forearm in, switch it up that way, get a little bit more sort of forearm. So yeah, so I'd switch up your grip positions a little bit. That'd be tip number three. And then a little bit away from the training, but a massive tip when it comes to growing any muscle group, whether it be your legs, your arms, back, chest, anything like that, would be to make sure that you're eating enough food. So yeah, enough food and enough protein as well. So that'd be a massive tip for, as I say, growing any muscle group. But it's definitely one to take in that if you're trying to improve the size of your arms, trying to grow your arms, make sure that your nutrition's right as well. So you want to be in a slight calorie surplus. So now I've gone through some of the tips that help me with my bicep and tricep training. I've done some demonstrations that will hopefully sort of help further and explain in more detail. Let's go. So you'll see from the exercise that I'm doing now, what I did was actually get the bench on an incline and then put my chest against the backrest so that it just changes the angle of my torso. So what I'm going to do here is really squeeze the biceps at the top of the movement. So it's a little bit easier at the bottom, but then when you're squeezing at the top, due to the angle that we've changed, makes it really quite challenging. So you'll see here, I'm really squeezing at the top of the movement. On the next rep, really squeeze the biceps hard. And that's what we want to try and do with this exercise. So it's definitely one that I'd recommend incorporating into your training. So then I moved on to the first tricep exercise, which was the dumbbell close grip bench press. So yeah, this is a good movement, and with it being a compound move, it's a good one to start with. So you'll see, by me keeping my hands pretty close and keeping it close grip, I'm going to be keeping a lot of the tension on the triceps, which is what we're trying to do. Nice and deep on the way down, and then not locking out on the way up. And the reason to not lock out is you don't want to be putting any unnecessary stress on your elbow joints. So again, you'll see that I'm not locking out. But yeah, a good move to start. So the second bicep exercise that I did was the incline dumbbell curl. So this is the complete opposite to the first exercise that we did for biceps. So we've changed the angle of the torso again, so that it's more difficult at the bottom of the movement, but gets easier towards the top. So yeah, this is one that I really like to do, and you can see by just the amount that I'm focusing on getting the reps. It's a really good exercise to do. Then we went back to a tricep exercise, which was the Tricep Pushdown. I love this exercise, but just make sure you get a good range of motion and squeeze the triceps hard at the bottom. So as you're pushing the weight down, make sure you're getting a good squeeze on the triceps to get the best out of this one. Straight after, I then put the rope attachment on the lower cable and focused on really burning out the triceps. By again, just focusing on strict form and really squeezing the triceps at the bottom. You'll also notice that I lean forward slightly, and that's just to increase the range of motion to get more out of the exercise. I then switched it up a bit with some standing hammer curls. You'll remember me saying at the start of the video to sort of switch up the grip position sometimes when you're doing curls, and this is just to get the most out of your bicep training. So with hammer curls, you'll get a little bit more forearm in as well, so it's good just to switch it up. But again, just like a normal bicep curl, just make sure you're squeezing hard at the top. Another exercise I like to do to switch it up is the reverse curl with the easy bar. The reverse curl will use a lot more of your forearms, and this was the last exercise I did in the session, and can definitely say got a good pump on. So give these exercises a go and implement some of the tips I've given you in this video next time you go to train your arms. I hope you found it useful and have learned a thing or two. And if you have found it useful, please do like and subscribe. See you in the next video.